got back to me. I doubt it.
Jordan Chariton on the whole Nick Brana thing.
To give him a chance to respond, and he did not. All right, let's play this clip just to let you guys know it's pretty serious accusation and not for the faint at heart what you're about to hear.
Being Zaynab's friend, I didn't know for a long time about the relationship. There was one instance when we were in New York. Nick had treated a volunteer very badly. I had my own grievances against him by the way he treated people and myself. And that was never rectified. But I walked in, basically, long story short, I walked into the room and I seen Nick Brana trying to push himself down on Zeynab. I have been a colleague of Zeynab's for probably almost 5 years now. When I ran for office, she was my communications director, and she was a liaison in my campaigns, both times. And I seen a person, no offense to Zeynab, but I seen the mental stress that she was going through and seeing how she was about to break because this was so hard. I knew that he was pushing himself on her because there were several times in the middle of the night she would call and talk to me 6 hours because Nick would keep her on the phone late hours at night. Her daughter was hearing him asking her if he would, if she could have phone sex, even after they broke up. And I told her, you're going to have to go to the board, and she was afraid of retaliation, and retaliation immediately started. Nick grabbed on to one of the most divisive issues in the country, that was the vaccine mandates to divide the community even more and call us dim operatives because he was trying to cover up what was going on with him. During finance calls, I could hear the abuse. He abused me when we were out on the road. He talked down to me. He put me in very uncomfortable situations. And I was promised by the board that it would be taken care of. And the retaliation just got worse and worse and worse. And I kept on saying, this is not internally, but since Zeynab spoke out now, this is not just sexual harassment. This is sexual assault. Something needs to be done. I was very uncomfortable. I finally ended up leaving. I ended up resigning because of the abuses that were going on with the retaliation. I seen everything that the volunteers had said in the past was true. And, there was no purpose in building the party. We spent a large amount of our time trying to platform Nick. Anytime we had live streams, anytime we had interviews, Nick wanted to be in the front of it, and he was super focused on Jimmy Dore. And, that's something that I was told, we're trying to build this, we're trying to get away from that, and it wasn't. I was on the phone one time 16 hours because he was trying to convince the board, and he was saying he was using my expertise as past experience as a candidate to run Cornell West as president and Jimmy Dore as vice president. For one, I don't know if Dr. West would have supported what was going on.
That would be absolutely amazing, and a lot of times these third parties have to, cling on to Jesse the Body Ventura or a Sam Cedar or a Jimmy Dore or Brianna Greyjoy. Brianna Greyjoy should run for office. What about Ron Placone? What's Ron Placone up to? And what about that Graham Elwood, Lee Camp? A lot of people that could run for president right now would be pretty. So I'm just going to make a couple comments. I had listened to the other Jordan Chariton video. I don't know what ends. Why would you click on anything of his just to make him wealthy? I want legitimate, true blue change. I want legitimate, true blue change. Not just chasing the sensational bullshit, not just chasing the money. I want legitimate, true blue change. I want a massive, bold, massive, progressive agenda. So Jordan Chariton, I think, made terrible points. What we did, we just listened to Paula Jean Swearingen. Now, apparently she had said that she witnessed one of the two incidents that Jordan Chariton has honed in on. So there's two main incidents. Apparently there's something about a hotel holding the keys back, but then she said that she couldn't say what it was, and then he did it sounded like, and then she kind of broke down and started crying and didn't say exactly what it was. He did say something weird afterwards about, hey, thanks for compromising. You took one for the team. Thank you for compromising. You took one. You got some nasty motherfuckers out there, right? You got a Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, that one Olympic coach. You got your Bill Clintons, your Donald Trumps, your Joe Bidens. A lot of nasty perverts are out there. Watch out for sexual predators. Watch out for degenerate sexual predator, nasty perverts. So on the flip side, you also got to watch out for bullshit. Julian Assange. Total bullshit. Julian Assange said, hey, the U.S. empire is killing innocent people. And then the U.S. empire said, well, Julian Assange is harassing women and he raped a woman, and turned out that that was total bullshit. But that's 10 years later, Julian Assange is still behind bars. He still is. Where's freedom of the speech, freedom of the press at? What the fuck? What kind of freedom is this? Did I shave my legs for this freedom? This ain't Aziz Ansari. Julian Assange was total bullshit. Aziz Ansari, what the fuck was that even about? Oh, Aziz Ansari didn't jump my goddamn bones. He didn't just jump on me and start licking my face like my other boyfriends. And I didn't know how to get him. And then, what, he wanted me to treat him nice? I'm used to just being... It was a bad date. It was a bad date. Julian Assange, total bullshit. Aziz Ansari, again, more total bullshit. And even Louis C.K. wasn't that terrible. Sarah Silverman said she let him jack off to her naked body. So yeah, guess what? Men want sex. Jerry Seinfeld and that wonderful Martin Short, he called it his routine. Men want sex. Men want sex. So Chris Rock blamed Hillary for Monica. Anyways, hearing Nick Brana wanting sex isn't a great presidential dignified look. I'll agree with you on that. What? He asked her, what? Do you still touch yourself? He wanted to have phone sex with her? What the hell is wrong with Nick Brana wanting to have phone sex with, you know, the lady, the accuser? And what was... You have I got 3 points here. But let's get her exact name. I want to make sure they're, defending that twerking senator, I'm sure. Stephanie Tanner was pushed down. That was rude. How rude was that? So you have Nick Brana trying to do this movement for a People's Party. And then you have this Zena Day. Okay? So Zena Day and Nick Brana had dated for several months. In January, they even had some sort of podcast where they did a podcast together with Primo Radical. You should check it out. Those were better days. So whereas you got nasty motherfuckers out there, you also got bullshit. Okay? And so I think you have to adjudicate it. You have to go through due process. You have a right to confront your accusers. You can cross-examine, they say this and that and whatever, and they present their evidence, they present their case, and you have a right to cross-examine everything that they're presenting. Nick Brana, I don't know if the dating scene is that bad in D.C., but maybe he could try the warmth of a man. I don't know. Maybe they weren't going to be the next power Bernie Sanders and wife, and next, Hillary and Bill, or next Joe and Jill. And speaking of Joe Biden, talk about the rich and powerful. Joe Biden, apparently, according to Tara Reid, just walked up to Tara Reid at a party randomly, out of nowhere, and just started putting his fingers up inside her. He started fingering her out of nowhere. And then she, recoiled. And he got scared and said, I thought you liked me. And then, she kind of was like, I do, but I don't. And then he goes, well, you're nothing. That's the current president. So, it seems kind of crazy that all this high-level politics is being thrown at a third party. Jesus Christ, it wasn't... Cynthia McKinney isn't the reason why Barack Obama won in 2008. It was McKinney's fault. Cynthia McKinney ran as a Green Party. No, that's why Obama got elected. Perhaps people are afraid of Nick Brana because of his position on public education. He's opposed to public education, a lefty liberal, a socialist, a lefty liberal, anti-fascist. He's opposed to... Now, Nixon once said that whenever there's a bet against X movement or a stop X movement, bet on X. Maybe Nick Brana is X. Maybe Nick Brana's mere existence is causing such a fury over seemingly much ado about nothing. One of two incidents. I want to get down to the one of two incidents. We heard what she said. She had said that he was pressing up against her, pressing down on her. She says sexual assault. I want to know specific. I want to know timelines. I want a point-by-point timeline. I want a month-by-month, day-by-day, minute-by-minute. Perhaps the next step, Nick Brana is going to get a celebrity impression on SNL. Yeah, right. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. Nobody's paying attention to this except for progressive YouTube land. If he does get a celebrity impression of him on SNL, then that's when you know for sure that he's made it. That's when you know for sure that he's made it. But okay, high-level politics for a third party. High-level politics for a third party. So Paula Jean Swearingen said she witnessed one of two incidents. So that's interesting. I need to know what those two incidents are because I don't see a smoking gun. And, you know, because I believe in the working class so much, I want change for America so much. I believe that the name, Movement for a People's Party, beautiful name, wonderful name, perfect name. The guy seems like a decent guy. Doesn't seem like he's, overly, he seems actually boring and bland and kind of too fucking boring. He doesn't say Jesus Christ. He doesn't cuss enough. He almost seems too goddamn straight-laced. There's a weird point that Jordan Chariton makes. He says apparently there's 3 investigators and a 4th board member was added to the investigation. Now, Nick Brana had explained that the 4th board member had been asked on by other board members who was on, the lady's side, the accuser's side. And it turned out it was actually the accuser herself. It actually turned out to be, Miss Day herself. She insisted on it, not the board members. That's such a weird gotcha, well, look at the list of lies. Look at the list of lies. It seems like he's just a gotcha fucking muckraking fucking just absolute white trash bullshit. And it's why to get the views, get the clicks, to get the dollars. He's a capitalist. This isn't for the good of all of us. This isn't a utilitarian, what's good for, The biggest points that they made, I think Paula Jean Swearingen witnessing something that's interesting. Let's hear what Paula Jean Swearingen. Who is this Paula Jean Swearingen? Is she a Clinton operative? Is that true? Paula Jean Swearingen. She's born in 1974, so she's 8 years older than me. She's 48 years old. An activist, politician. She ran in the 2020 U.S. Senate election. Okay. She was in a documentary. She lost by more than 40 percentage points in 2020. And she lost the primary to Joe Manchin. She left the Democratic Party in 2021, joined the Movement for a People's Party, then left the organization in 2022. So I wonder, was she going to try to do her own thing with the Movement for a People's Party? Is she going to go to Andrew Yang's Reform Party? Born in West Virginia. One of her grandfathers served in the Korean War. Father was in the Vietnam War. Her father died of cancer at 52. Black lung disease in the coal mines. She supports a Medicare for All healthcare plan. So, okay. What are we talking about? We want to see if she was a Democratic operative. And apparently she left the Democratic Party. So, I'm not for sure what she is. She seems to be an independent. Because that's one of Nick Brana's, he's saying they're Democratic operatives. They're a bunch of neoliberals. They're right-wing, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton neoliberals, not like a Bernie Sanders. So the first gotcha is not a gotcha. It's nothing. It's not nothing at all. You said the board members said that they insisted on the 4th member, but it was actually the lady herself who said it. Her friends, who the fuck cares? You asked why the 4th board member came on board, and I said it was because it was them. They insisted on having the person in there so there would be a fair investigation, and that central point is true. The biggest point is that some board members, the voice messenger, the biggest point it seems like Jordan Chariton makes this Paula Jean Swearengin clip was interesting, but I think his biggest point is the board members. There was a voice message. They leveled an offer at Nick Brana saying some sort of mediating package, some sort of arbitration. If you do supervision and you do a sort of, sexual harassment training seminars for 6 months and this and that. So it's kind of a list of punishments where he gets to retain his chair, but he has to, basically go through this process to make, the accuser, make it all right, to make it A-okay. And so he's saying, why would they send that voice? They didn't think that they had the goods. If they didn't think that he was totally guilty, why would they send the voice message? Again, Aziz Ansari, Julian Assange, even Louis C.K. What? I mean, he asked, when he asked, his underlings, that was something. But asking Sarah Silverman to let him jack off to her naked body, it's not pretty, it's not cute, but he's allowed to ask the question, and she said yes. So, Louis C.K. took a chance, and it paid off. So what I'm trying to say is we need to make a distinction between your Harvey Weinsteins and Jeffrey Epsteins and that Olympic coach and your Bill Clintons and Donald Trumps and your Joe Bidens. I could see a person wanting to adjudicate the thing amicably. That doesn't sound like a smoking gun to me. What the board offered, some mediation plan, some sort of mediation thing where he's not a supervisor and couldn't do this and he couldn't do that, and it was very draconian. He rejected it, but they could add more sexual harassment bylaws to the policy so they could have a consistent judicial process for any issue like that had happened in the future. So I want to know specifically what one of the two incidents that Jordan Chariton, Paula Jean Swearengin, it seems like it's one incident, but maybe there's two incidents there. I want to know what they're talking about. I want to know specifically what they're talking about. What does Jordan Chariton think he knows about what happened? And, I guess this is all going to play out in the court of public opinion. So let's hear what Nick Brana has to say. So that's my, I don't want to say it's much ado about nothing. You need to take, we need to get to the bottom of it. What is it? Sexual harassment? Sexual assault? It doesn't sound like it's rape. It sounds like rape is being pushed off to the side. It doesn't sound like it's nothing, but it also doesn't sound like it's rape. What was it? What was it? So, we still don't know.